everyone, Joshua here, friend of my girl, and we're back to a new Crash Bandicoot review video. And today we are back on my All Crash Bandicoot Games review series. And we are going to be, in this video, we are reviewing my favorite Crash Bandicoot 2 game, Twinsanity. Or the game, of course, as known as also game with mini-cut content cut. That was cut and sadly did not make it to the final version just because it was cut out in development. So let's start off with the story. So the game starts off with Coco just chasing a butterfly. Everything seems normal, but Cortex is back. And he uses his ray gun to zap Coco and put her to sleep. So Cortex can disguise himself with her clothes as Crash's sister, and Crash actually falls for it, which a lot of y'all may not be. And then we go into another one of my favorite part of Twinsanity, the open world. Yes, you can explore wherever you want, basically. And it's so cool. And basically, everything is connected. It's besides, of course, the 10th dimension, which we'll get back to. But everything is absolutely stunning. And this is one of the things why I love Twinsanity, because the graphics, the gameplay, the story, and how it's open world as well. So basically, Cortex, Coco, teaches you, does a tutorial of like how to attack, spin, or attack, jump, and slide, and body slam as well, and the duck as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And I just love this line.
Are you? It's true. Blondes do have more fun. I'm okay. The spikes broke my fall.
And then we meet a skunk that's been walking back and forth for many, many years, basically. And then we come to the first boss. Cortex undisguises himself, and Crash is, of course, surprised that it actually wasn't his sister. And basically, Lex Lane really steals the show as Cortex in this game.
Surprised to see me, Crash? Like the fleas in your fur, I keep coming back. 3 years I spent alone in the frozen Antarctic wastes. And I missed you. And so I've organized a little gathering, like a birthday party, except the exact opposite. And look, all of your friends are here. You are so very popular. Let's start handing out the presents.
So you have your first boss fight with Dr. Cortex, which he throws bombs to destroy the floor and tries to shoot you as well. And of course, once he actually fire back a projectile, you gotta spin it back at him 3 times and he's defeated. But that's not the end of the phase, because he's got a backup, Mecha Bandicoot, which is controlled by Engine. So you have to basically dodge his missile attacks, his chainsaw attacks, and the nose shooting attacks as well. And if you do that without dying, you win. And once you defeat Cortex, you and Cortex get sent down into a hole. And basically, that's where you and Cortex start your adventure. Y'all do a fighting free-for-all kind of fight down until you reach to the Power Crystal. Yes, where you reach the Power Crystal, which Cortex encounters. But when Cortex tries to grab it, it sends kind of a trap. And basically, it sends them flying up into the air. And basically, this alien kind of subtle comes up, but you gotta destroy all the buttons. And once you destroy all the buttons on it, it gets sent back down. And basically, you have to actually grab Cortex. Yeah, you have to grab Cortex in order to progress even further. And it's just so cool and funny. And with some chase sequence too. So once we finally make it out of the caverns, we come in contact with my favorite villains of all time of the Crash Bandicoot franchise. Not only in Twinsanity, but my favorite villains in the Crash franchise universe itself, the Evil Twins. Yes, the Evil Twins, which they are plotting to destroy all of Wumpa Island and the world itself. And the Evil Twins, of course, Victor and Maurice. Which they really, Lex Lane and the Evil Twins definitely still the so in Twinsanity, and I really love it. I really love it.
Let's play mind games. This is the part where you run away screaming. Go on, run! Catch you later, Brainiac!
And then we cut back to, of course, Cortex, which he's telling you that he wants your help. He wants to, and you heard him because he wants to destroy all of Wumpa Island and turn everybody into their slaves and steal Cortex's brain. And then he tells them about the humble nature, the bull, and the bumblebees. And basically, you go through chase sequence, or kind of a chase sequence, but you're actually saving Cortex until, Cortex gets captured by Papu Papu. So yeah, you have to go basically fighting through the tribesmen and trying to save Dr. Cortex. And once you have freed Dr. Cortex, you stumble across Papu Papu. And Cortex is just screaming while going down the waterfall. And then Papu Papu tells his tribesmen, his henchmen, to go and capture Crush. Once you escape the Papu Papu's henchmen, you come across Farmer Ernest. Yes, Farmer Ernest. Which he tells you that his Wumpa trees won't grow and they're filled with worms, and if you can get rid of them, he'll give you the power crystal. But guess what? Cortex just does the same thing he did with Coco. And he says this.
I'm an evil scientist. What do you expect? This isn't a game.
And then we come across a kind of totem, giant totem. And guess what? We meet, once again, the Evil Twins. Yes, and they tell us that Wumpa Island has some very interesting and very beautiful places. So much to see and so much to destroy. Lava caves, the native village, and the totem guards, or gods. And basically, they're saying of how in the 10th dimension they don't have anything as nice as them, and just of how much they seem like they're almost alive. But in truth, they are indeed alive. So you have to fight the totem god, which it is defeated. Once you defeat it, Victor and Maurice are very surprised, and they said that they want to take over all of the thing of this dimension and leave behind all the worst impossible worlds, which of course they just like making a mess of it. So the Evil Twins leave once again, and basically Cortex mentions, or just thinks of a 10th dimension, and then he thinks of his ice laboratory, which we go to this next area. Basically, Cortex's laboratory and the iceberg. Basically, on an iceberg. Which, of course, he tells us that this will help us on defeating the Evil Twins, basically. And, of course, he only has the key, but, of course, he struggles because the key does not work. It does not open the gate, which is hilarious. So we have to go another route. And then we come across, once we get to the top of it, of the lair, we come across Cortex chatting with some penguins, and Cortex for breaking the force wall with them.
Check bounced. Are you sure? Well, the past few years have kind of been slow. Wrath of Cortex didn't do as well as we'd hoped, and...
Yes, you heard that right. Dr. Cortex says that the past few years have kind of been slow. Wrath of Cortex didn't do as well as we hoped. You heard that right. So Cortex absolutely destroys the penguins. Yeah, just straight out suits the penguins. So eventually, we make it to Uka Uka, which we free Uka Uka, and this is where basically the third boss takes place. Yes, we have to face Uka Uka because he tries to kill both Cortex and Crash just because since Cortex is... Uka Uka is seeing Cortex working with Crash, Uka Uka has no choice but to kill both of them. So Uka Uka forms into this icy kind of body, which is very intense looking. So you just gotta melt away his body. And once you do that, you are defeated. Or he is defeated. And Uka Uka almost escapes, but Aku Aku informs him that there's a more evil ally out there that threats to destroy the whole world. But Uka Uka does not like that one bit, so Aku Aku tells him that they are magical masks, so he should join them, and together they shall defeat the evil twins. So Uka Uka actually agrees, so they go and fight the evil twin. So once we make it into the iceberg, Cortex is just informing us until there's a knock at the door. Yes, there is a knock at the door, which, lo and behold, it is the evil twins. And with Uka Uka and Aku Aku defeated by the evil twins. Yeah, even Aku Aku and Uka Uka couldn't defeat the evil twins. Yes, these are very powerful villains. If Uka Uka and Aku Aku cannot defeat these guys, then it would seem like no one can. So, basically, Victor says that they think they can stop us, and they are the masters of the dimensions with power over reality itself. And Moraes just spills saying that they have riches. And basically, they say that if Dr. Cortex remembers them and that he's ruined their lives. And basically, we have to fight some ant leaders. Some ant henchmen. And once we defeat them, the evil twins leave once again back to the 10th dimension. So, Uka Uka and Aku Aku are so very mad at Dr. Cortex of telling him what has he done, what are these things that are planning to destroy the world as we know it. So, this moment is absolutely fantastic.
Intellect and your vacuous stupidity will be unbeatable.
You see that, they're shaking hands. Cortex and Crash shake hands and they team up. So, we make it to the Psychotron. Basically, that is the ticket and the gateway to the 10th dimension of what he says, different dimensions as well. And they so go there to confront the evil twins and defeat them and steal the riches. And basically, that's where we need to go. And Cortex says that we need 6 power crystals in order to go, and they only have 4. But they need more. But there is actually one on engine ship that they actually found. So yeah, Cortex sees the engine ship is about to set sail and leave. And then they're trying to figure out a plan to actually do to get there. So Crash goes over there and kicks Cortex. Yes. And then you go into a chicken coop. Yes, and...
Coming through! Ladies, excuse me, madam. Are those real? Mother?
And once you get done sledding, you turn into a snowball and you collapse under a cavern which Dingodile was, I guess, it looked like he was going to the bathroom, and then Cortex says that he'd never been so humiliated about the treasure, and of course, with the treasure in hands that they need to get, and Dingodile hears it, so he goes and finds the treasure. And then we come to Engine! We go through Engine Sip, basically. And after we defeat Engine, we go into a part which basically is no other than Rusty Walrus's kitchen himself. And it's a chase sequence between you and Rusty Walrus. And after you defeat Rusty Walrus, you find yourself with TNT, and you see Engine falling from the sky, and he lands on the TNT crate, and you get sent off flying onto an iceberg, which you meet Embryo. You have came face to face with Embryo and Entropy, which they want to hear about the riches. They're after the evil twins with riches as well. But Cross, of course, won't tell him where the riches are, so they're gonna have to just get it out of him. So Brio, of course, turns into a giant, I guess, toad, in order to get it out of him. But basically, once you defeat them, you get sent back to Cortex's lair. And then Coco thinks that Cross is in trouble, so she kicks Cortex and loses the crystal. The Psychotron zaps Coco once again. And then Cortex says that it's ruined and must be prepared, and only one person that can help him. And that's Cortex's niece, Nina Cortex. Which, of course, he gets confused, saying whenever Crass is behind him, he almost says daughter, but then he run crosses with him, he says niece. So they go to the Cortex's airship and go to Madame Emily's Academy of Evil, which when we go there, we get this.
So this is how the rich and the ugly fly.
Who's doing this? Will they have another bag of those spicy peanuts?
I wouldn't.
Boring!
I shall crush you like a puny once you are. You are nothing to me, for I am the great and all-powerful Neo-Cortex. You infantile vermin. How dare you mock man and manipulate me? Rest assured, I will take my terrible vengeance upon...
Yeah, whatever. Skip to the good bit.
And then we make it to the Academy of Evil, Dr. Cortex's school when he was little. And then we go into a kind of a sewer level, basically. Which basically Cortex spends almost the entire time in a pipe, which this has to be one of the hilarious things.
The greatest evil scientist in the world! Stuck in a pipe. How could things get any worse?
So we eventually make it to Dingodile, which he tells us that he has heard them spill about the riches, and he wants a piece of that pie. But, of course, then Cortex does not understand what he says, so Cortex gets sent off flying, and you have to face Dingodile. And once you defeat Dingodile, you go back up to the surface of the Academy of Evil. And once you get through some kind of teachers and stuff, Cortex just sends off going there, and he said that he'll take it over from there, and get back to the airship, and make it so its rotors are... Then we make it to Cortex. Back with Cortex. And he goes to Nina.
Outside! Nina, my adorable young niece. My, you're getting big and sneaky. Put her there, little lady. I see they need some adjustment. Let me take a...
And yes, Crash tied the airship to a school bus, and it just ends up flying. So, you have to have a chase sequence with the school bus destroying the floor. And basically, some of the ants have came, and you gotta make it back to the airship. But you come across Cortex's old teacher, Madame Emily herself.
Are in detention.
Madam Emily.
So, crybaby Cortex is all grown up. I see you found employment as a barber.
I'm an evil scientist.
A scientist of it. To me, you'll always be a little...
So you have to face Madame Emily, and you straight off kill Madame Emily. Just look at that. She just falls to her death, which is crazy. Cortex just killed his own teacher. So, we get Cortex finally remembers. He thinks he remembers of what happened about the evil twins. So we cut back to 8-year-old Cortex experimenting with the Evolvo Ray. And, well, it was his first experiment with the Evolvo Ray. And his 2 pet parrots, Victor and Maurice, were the test subjects. So basically, the experiment was going really good, and then one suddenly, Victor and Maurice vanish. Yes. Into the infinite 10th dimension. And basically, Cortex was heartbroken, but he just end up laughing. And he says that he wishes he could see the evil twins, and he would love to see them again.
But be careful what you wish for, young man.
Back off, Grandpa.
For your wish will come true.
So, we finally got all the crystals that we needed to go to the 10th dimension. And Cortex does another kind of force wall break too, from it being in development.
Now, as we explore a new dimension! It should have been 2 new dimensions, but we ran out of time.
So, we go to the 10th dimension. Yes. Which, when we get there, Cortex is with an evil version of Crash, which there was supposed to be an evil version of Coco and a good Cortex, but, once again, cut. And here's what I said about the daughter, Cortex calling Nina.
My daughter, niece! We must do something! Think, Cortex, think!
And once again, you have to, slide down like you did before, getting to Engine Ship. And you'll eventually make it to evil Crash and Nina. Cortex says to let her go and take Cortex himself instead. And you gotta basically save Cortex from evil Crash. But once you have saved Cortex, we have made it to the evil twins' lair. Which basically is also where the riches are as well. So we have made it to the treasure. Which, lo and behold, and Trophy and Brio and Engine have made it to the treasure. And guess who makes a cameo in this game?
I don't care, but I think he might want his gems back.
Spyro the Dragon makes an appearance, makes a cameo in Twinsanity. I love it. So, we have made it. We have made it to the evil twins. So, the evil twins said, of course, that Cortex's failed experiment sent them 2 innocent souls to the 10th dimension, and they have basically harnessed enough energy to actually warp their egg cell minds to turn them into what they are today, basically. And they say that they learned from the best, so Cortex tells them that playtime is over, and basically tells them to get into the cage. Because it's his 2 parrots, so his 2 lost parrots. So, of course, they do so, but they are tired of being treated like what they are being treated. So, it is up to so they tell us that you want to make up the lost time and play with your pets, so we have to face the evil twins, which turn into a robot. First, we gotta play as Nina to basically grappling hook to the off our way to go and destroy the kind of energy sources. Then we have to play as Cortex to destroy their weapons. And then we play as Mecha Bandicoot. Yes, you heard that right. Mecha Bandicoot. Somehow Crash went to our dimension and got the Mecha Bandicoot. So the evil twins are defeated. And then they go to a house. But it's not any house. No. It's not any house. It is indeed, if you are familiar with it, Evil Crash's house. And then they get locked in. They get locked in.
Oh, boy! I love roast chicken. Well, this is one heck of an ending.
Yes, can we replay that, please? Evil Crash straights out, eats the evil twins alive. Yes. Evil Crash straights out, eats the evil twins. Which is insane. So, Cortex, of course, is, basically tired of Crash's, of the failed mistakes and stuff. And he learns something from all this, and he, of course, can't get away from his mistakes. So, he tries to send Crash to the 10th dimension himself, or to the different dimension. But, of course, the Psychotron explodes, and it grabs Cortex, and transports him into Crash's head.
Where am I? What is this?
Yes, this is how the game ends, you guys. Cortex gets trapped in Crash's brain with millions of Crashes dancing, and it's basically a nightmare for Cortex, but he kind of deserves it too. And, of course, we can't forget to talk about the 100% ending, which I'll just play it.
Now, the two of you have been asked to begin these therapy sessions so that we can work through the conflict apparent in your relationship. This week we're going to do a trust exercise. Cortex, let's start with you. I would like you to fold your arms over your chest, close your eyes, and fall backwards. Okay, Crash, your job is easy. Just catch Cortex as he falls. We want Dr. Cortex here to know that he is in a safe place.
I don't think this is going to work. He's an idiot. I don't even like him, let alone trust him. It's just that I have a fear of falling. Okay, fine. Let's do the silly exercise. I'm in a safe place. I'm in a safe place. I'm in a safe place. Oh, how I hate bandicoots.
And that is how the 100% ending is. And that is going to wrap it up for this review, you guys. I do hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so videos don't out. And turn the comments down below and tell you what do you think about my Crash Twinsanity review, or my childhood Crash Bandicoot game. Because, indeed, this is my favorite Crash Bandicoot 2 game of all time, you guys. Indeed. And to see all the cut content that was cut from the game, from the final version, is very sad, and that's why I really want a remake of this game so much. Because it's so good. It's so good of a Crash game, and with all the content that was sadly cut due to running out of time in development, we need a remake of this very badly, with all cut content restored. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you guys don't and tell me again what you think about my Crash Twinsanity review, you guys. So tomorrow will be a new review. I'm pretty sure it's tag team racing. So thanks for watching. See you next video. Bye.